Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday night, June the 27th. And these are the charts of the day. Well, it was a pretty ugly day in Wall Street. Let's go to the indices real quick. You can see that starting yesterday, the indices started from about 58.45 and then dropped in a five-wave advance till the close today. That's in 2 days, 2 sessions. 1, 2, 3, 4. A big fifth wave down. Actually, it bounced, but then get a little sixth and seventh. But I'd have to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nasty fifth wave down to the bottom of the channel. Tonight the futures are down just a very small fraction, so it may not be a big follow through, but they have a tendency to get worse as the night goes on. So for now, that's the NDX, and that's dropped from 58.44 to 76.42. 56.72. It's about 170 points. We're looking at a quick 3-4%. And looking at it on the hourly chart, you can see that it broke down and took out support, what I was talking about in this area here that I thought was key at about 57, 60, 70. And then when it broke down and rallied back to it, it formed a bear wedge. Remember me showing you that this morning? Well, that rollover was a nasty one. As it rolled over, it took out 57.40 and went to 56.70 for another 70 points on top of that. Net, it was a 100 some odd point day today. I think 106 on the NASDAQ 100. The S&P 500 didn't fare much better, dropping from 24.50 to 24, basically 20, 30 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the big fifth wave down, if you call that a fifth wave. Could be a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth of a fifth. So we may get a bounce. My worries are this pattern here. The S&P 500 looks pretty toppy to me. It looks like a head and shoulders type pattern. Left shoulder complex, head, right shoulder. But this is the neckline. If we get underneath 24.15 tomorrow, 24.16 in that area, we could get this market to come down quickly to 24.05 and even 23.85.90 zone where there's a major trend line and lateral price support. We'll see, but it's a nasty, nasty day today. Let's look at the charts. I'm going to go over the shorts because we haven't gone over them since last week in depth, and I want to show you some of the ones that interest me. And these are not necessarily the only ones I like. The other ones, some of the stocks that we've had on the short side have been so blasted that I'm just not going to cover them because they're so far so fast. They've come down so steeply. They're not the ideal points, like Foot Locker, for example. Do you really want to short it now? You don't need to. There's a lot of other stocks like Dynequity that look terrible. I can go on and on with all of these. There's a million of them that look terrible. CATM, for example, which worked out very well for us. But the ones I like right now that look like they're set up are AZPN. Now look at the double top, breakdown, and bear wedge. The technicals could be worse, but it's signaling to me 51.5, 48.5, and maybe 44.5. Targeting on the downside. That looks toppy to me. Central Garden and Pet broke down, has a bear wedge. You can see it. It's plain as the nose on your face. Wave 1 and 2. Where does wave 3 go? Well, probably somewhere down in about 23.4 range. That's 7 points. And if it bounces and looks ugly, we could get a fifth wave down to 18.20, 18.19. Criteo's another. After the trend broke hard, it did bounce back. It's got a rising bear flag type pattern. Look at the technicals. They don't look good. Despite the fact that it looks good fundamentally and had a nice little rally back from 44 to 49.50 range, it's rolling over or might be. And if that is the down channel on Criteo, you can see how nasty it looks right now. This can fall down towards high 30s. CYBE, well, we've been talking about shorting this, and it has been a short since it was in the 25 range. It dropped down to 19.5 and then bounced, but it looks like another bear wedge to me. And this could be a big one too. 3 would get you down to 16, 17. Ebix. Looks like a topping pattern. This is the break of the trend line. There. That's a big bear wedge. Guess what that wedge did today? Yes, it broke. More of a coil. But if this is even if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, we need wave 5. But it looks more like a breakdown with 1 and 2. Then 3, 4, and 5 could get you down into the 42, 45 zone eventually. GKOS. It looks to me like this long pattern is broken, a little head and shoulders top or double top up here. A breakdown and now a rising bear wedge to the trend line. And today dropped 268 or 6%, telling me that this may break shortly, drop down into the 34 range, eventually 28.9. GNTX, head and shoulders top, breakdown, bear flag, pop down, another little bear flag. I think we're going lower. I'd look for 16. Maybe 15. IPHI is a box of swing short. Doesn't look good. That's the channel now. It just reached up to the top of it and the 50. Reversed yesterday. And today back down again. As a matter of fact, it's on support. If it cracks here, it could drop into the 29.5 or even 26.5 range where the next support might be. Bad looking chart. Technicals are falling apart. That's a good chart. IPHS doesn't look that much better. It broke down, snapped back, formed the bear wedge, and now it looks like it could break. It needs under 42 to really get going to the downside with targets to 37 and 32. MYRG, a big move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then breakdown hard. So I was waiting for some kind of rebound consolidation. Well, that's what we got here. Now, it might still have a little leg left, but if the market gets bad, I doubt it. Right now, you can see there's resistance here, a rapidly declining moving average here. And if it falls apart and drops down hard, we can see 23.4. PCMI, box of swing short. After this bear flag broke, it did try to snap back off of that level. But I don't think it's going to have much support here. I eventually think it's seeing, look at 12.13. Parsley Energy. Well, one of the few oil stocks I have on my list today because most of them have come down a lot. This is a 1, 2, 3, and maybe in the midst of wave 4. If oil firms up, we may see a run up towards 29, which might be a shorting opportunity for a move down into low to mid-20s, maybe even high teens. Ryder. Some of the transportation stocks are broken or are breaking down. This one looks like that trend has been broken. And now a rising bear flag and a three-wave corrective with terrible technicals. I think it's a short here for a move down to 63, 57, maybe less. RDN. Looks like a head and shoulder top and breakdown. Snap back, snap back. It's pulling back now. If this is the top and it falls apart, 15 and 13 are targets. Shopify. This looks pretty damn dangerous, folks. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder? Could very well be. The volume patterns there. The technicals have turned ugly. If this rolls over, it takes out 81. Look out below. 74 and eventually mid-60s target. STX broke down today with a whack of 288 or 6.8%. But it broke this entire pattern. Is now at a lowest level since January, looking for maybe a test at 35.6. Below that, 32.3. Symantec. Well, the channel's been broken, unable to rally back through it, and beginning to roll over, down 75 cents or 2.6%. And right on support. Next stop, 26 and 23.5. VMW. Breakdown, rising wedge or rising flag. Technicals deteriorating. If it fails here and does not take out 92.5, 3, this could roll over and get down into the high 70s. 78 is a potential target. I do have the possibility of some support around 82. So 82 and 78 going forward. Vertiv. Well, I gave you a boxer short on this one after it bounced to resistance and the trend line. And it got creamed and snapped back and formed a wedge. Terrible technicals. I'm looking for 34.5. 10 points. And finally on the short side, Yelp. After breaking the topping pattern, this is a big bear flag with lousy technicals. I would not be shocked to see 23.4 on this one. That's the look at the shorts for tonight. I do want to just show you UVXY and the pattern on the LABD as well. Look, on a long-term chart, it's obviously a big, big falling wedge. But look at the pop out of the wedge today. That broke this big falling wedge. It goes back several weeks. With a volume of 44.5 million, let's scroll into a 15-minute chart and take a look what that looks like. The breakout, and by the way, after hours traded up to 976. And its market is about to close after hours. Resistance to 10, 1030, 1050, 1085, it's something like that. On the way up, there's going to be some layers of resistance. Probably want to take that out, and let's look for 10.5 and 1085, maybe 11.25. But it remains to be seen if there's a downside follow through. But I wanted to show you the UVXY, and the key first level is over 10.05. LABD, that's looking interesting. After a big come down, and take a look at a long-term chart. With the biotech moving up, this being a timing thing, this is almost like an option to me because it looks like it has time premium on it. Anyway, the bottom line is it's been in a downtrend for a year and a half, and it's dropped from the mid-90s all the way down to 6 without a split. Pretty amazing. But what I saw today kind of woke me up. Take a look at a 15-minute chart. Little base breakout. Look at the volume of the breakout. More importantly, look at the volume on the day. Today was the heaviest volume in its history on an up day. Now look at the selling climax in a 5-day whack on huge volume every day down. Well, that smacks of selling climax, and today smacks of, or the last 2 days, of reversal days. See them? I can see this getting up towards, let's take a closer look. For me, the resistance on this one is going to be about 1820. Let's call it 720. 760 and 780. If I get any kind of follow through tomorrow, look at the late volume on this surge. It tells me a lot of money is flowing into these ultra shorts as protection. Now we can all be wrong, but that's it for tonight, both on the short side and looking at a couple ultra shorts. Again, not calling for a top in here, but it sure looks like we are in the midst of a decline that could exacerbate if it gets any kind of downside follow through. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll know a lot more. For now, this is HB out.